So growing up, I was a Navy brat. My mom was a chief petty officer in the Navy, but I spent the majority of my life growing up in a small town in Michigan called Mayo. The first musical memory growing up, my brothers had a subscription to, I think it was called BMG Music Group. They got one or two CDs that they liked and gave me the rest. So I had a handful of stuff like TLC and Spice Girls, stuff like that. I remember sitting in the bed with my headphones on, singing as loud as I could, Scrubs, and then I'd close my eyes and I'd wake up to getting punched by my brothers because I was singing too loudly. I started playing music. I think it was on my 11th birthday. My stepfather bought me an old gut string guitar. I don't remember the brand or anything like that. But he taught me the chords to Last Kiss by J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers, and I just spent, the next week jamming out to that song. Major influences in my writing style and melodies that I come up with. That's be bands like Incubus and Avenged Sevenfold. I tend to like a lot of really poppy stuff. I have really deep R&B roots because of the whole TLC CD. Other musicians that influence me would be like Frankie J, Omarion, even as far as a lot of hip hop music. Not really the new hip hop, but people like Tupac or 36 Mafia. I just recently moved back to Michigan from California and met Dave on Bandmix. And so it was just us two for a while. We decided to work on a few acoustic covers and just play some of our songs acoustically and try to play out like that. Then we found Eric, our guitar player, who introduced us to our other guitar player, Spence, and Mike, our drummer. These guys all bring a different dynamic to the bands. Eric is, the riff factory. He just writes riffs like crazy. Dave lays down the bass line. Spence brings brilliant harmonies to the guitar parts. And Mike has a really unique drumming style that really ties it all together. I think what sets A Silver Lining apart from other bands would be our unique but relevant playing style. We talk about the political situations today. We talk about drug addiction. We talk about loss of life. So I remember growing up watching MTV and having a really strong connection to the lyrics. And I remember I struggled a lot growing up with not feeling like I was good enough and thoughts of suicide and deep depression. The reason I really wanted to get into music was because I went through these problems and I wanted to find a way to help others who might be going through the same things and, maybe pull them out of a depression if they're in one, or just give them the tools to find happiness. I remember once I was going through a really deep depression and I just couldn't get out of it. It was like a 6-month spell of just pure unhappiness, unable to find joy in anything I was doing. And I had a lot of suicidal thoughts at that time, thinking that was the only way out. And I remember one of the most important questions I was ever asked: do you think you don't deserve to be happy? And I thought about that for the rest of the day, and I realized that I was causing my own depression. I didn't have to be sad. I didn't have to be depressed. And that may not be the solution for everyone, but every time I feel down or sad or depressed, I realize that I deserve to be happy and I can be happy. And all I have to do is just, flip that switch. And it doesn't always work, but for me, it's a very useful tool in staying happy.